Well, did he own some land here where he had fruit trees? Did he own some land where there's fruit trees here?
He owned that place where Tom Harrison lives there in Clements.
Yeah.
That 10 acres across the street there.
Oh.
Didn't you know that?
No.
Yeah, he sold that to Tom Harrison and that Hard Stevens.
Mm-hmm.
And he owned that there where Malvina's home's at, that little old house there.
The green one?
That was their home, yeah.
Wow.
I helped him buy it. I made the down payment on it.
Who'd he buy it from?
Conant, Dr. Conant. Joe Cornisick and his wife lived in it when we bought it. It was just an old shack. Boy, it was a shack too. And so when we bought it, we had it for about a couple of years and finally decided we had to do something about it, more room. We finally put those 2 more rooms on there. See the 2 rooms on that little green house on this end.
On the south side?
Yeah. We built them on there. The other one was just an old adobe house, and just almost ready to fall down. Oh boy. In fact, some of it did fall out, didn't it, Mom? One wall, the north wall.
Yeah. How many children did he have?
How many children?
Yeah.
Well, you know that, don't you?
No.
Well, I'm one and Melba's the other one is all.
Well, I didn't know that was all.
Yeah. Yeah, just the 2 of us.
Hey.
13 years apart.
Hmm.
Melba and I.
When were you born?
1902.
What day? Month?
28th of June.
What day was Aunt Melvina born? Do you remember?
12th of July, isn't she? Wasn't she?
July 12th of...
Yeah, July 12th, but I don't remember what year.
The 15th?
There's 13 different years difference in us.
Huh?
Mary Alice Stone Gividen. She was, when she died, she was 67 years old, and Dad was 72 when he died.
You know, I can...
29 days between their deaths. When Grandpa died, Mother had always said that if Grandpa died before she did, that she wanted to come and live with us the rest of her life, see?
Yeah.
And the day of the funeral, we went over there after the funeral and getting ready to come home, and she just packed up her stuff and
moved in.
yeah.
She wouldn't go back in the house.
She died right here.
In this house?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She was here for 29 days. Of course, she was in a bad shape. She had a stroke, you know, and
Yeah.
just after, well, she wasn't well at all anyway. And
Well, did your dad die of old age?
die of old age.
Well, at that time, that's pretty old. At that time.
72?
No.
Well, I'm 74. Do you call me old?
Well, I know, but it's 76. That was... When did he die? What year?
1948, wasn't it?
I
No.
don't remember.
No, 52. 1952. See, he died at 72, and I'll be 74, 28th this month.
Let's tell him how he died.
Huh?
Tell him how he died.
Died of a heart attack.
Oh.
Just keeled over.
Hmm.
He was getting ready. Why don't you tell him?
I'm not supposed to.
You go ahead.
he was getting ready to go to California. Lila was going with him, and he was all dressed and ready to go, and he didn't have his belt for his trousers. And they said that he said to Mother, he said, "You know anything about the belt for my trousers?" He said, "No," but she said, "I'll bet the girls put it in your suitcase." Said he just picked the suitcase up and put it on the bed and went to open it, and he just keeled over and never got up. Yeah, it was Mary Jo and Blaine and I was out at Fairview fishing. And Grandpa had been with us if he hadn't been going to California.
Oh, were they LDS? They were, weren't they?
Mother and Dad was, sure.
Yeah.
They joined the church. That's the reason they come out here.
When did they join?
Converts of the church. Oh, they joined about 1901 or 1900. Joe Jensen used to run a thrash machine for years and years here in town.
Yeah.
Then I bought one and run it for. I run a thrash machine here for 10 years. We was married. We was over pruning trees across the street. We had just taken a blow there, and he says, "Well, Vance," he says, "now you're going to step out on your own pretty quick now." And he says, "There's one thing I want to tell you." He says, "You're going to find people that you're going to dislike." And he says, "You're going to find a lot of them that you would like to just take them and roll them in the mud." He says, "You're going to find people," he says, "that's down in the trench and you'd like to step on them and just push them down a little deeper. But," he says, "don't you ever do that. And if you can't find time to help them out of their circumstances, you step over them and don't step on them."
That's good philosophy.
And I'll say, well, I've lived with that. I made a lot of friends that way. I've lived by that motto. And if you can't do them any good, why don't do them no harm.
Yeah.
There's so many people that say evil of one another, you know, so bad that it's terrible. I know I have to watch myself pretty careful to keep from saying things about people, you know. And then after you say it, why, you get to thinking, well, now, why? Why should that happen?
Yeah.
Your dad has got the greatest philosophy I ever saw. If you can't say something good about somebody, don't say it. I've heard him say that time and time again.
Yeah.
I know when Floyd Bird over here was alive.
So?
Well, he was kind of a bad character at times, you know. He'd get drunk and crazy, you know. Talk. It didn't make any difference who was around, women or kids or whatnot. One day, they had a party here, and the girls went out to the store to get something, and Lloyd was in there, and he was having one of those tantrums, and they came in and says, "Boy, I don't know why they don't get him out of that store out there. He's sure vulgar and nasty." And so he was having supper, and that was his topic, about Floyd Bird. how bad he was and everything, you know. So when they got all unwound, Harold, he just happened to be there, and he just pushed back, and he says, well, now, he says, you've said all the bad things about Floyd Bird. What do you say we say something good about him? He says he has some good qualities. He says, let's talk about some of the good.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not too much, but...
Dad was saying that you'd gotten shot once. That you were shot in the leg one time?
Yeah.
Was that deer hunting?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Accident. Kid was with me, shot it, just put a shell in his gun and never said anything to me about it. It was up here on, you know where Days Mountain is? You know where the old Jolly Ranch on the right-hand fork there?
Yeah.
Well, we was up just about the top of that. And just about got to the top, and when he did it, I don't know, it was an old 44 Winchester, slug about as big as your finger.
Oh, was he putting it in the vehicle, or he stumbled, or what?
No, he just carrying it behind me. We was just pulling our way up on the mountain, you know, the brush, and I just got to the top. Just happened to stand up there and bang. Got me right through the leg right here.
Your right leg, huh?
Mm-hmm. This is the one giving me a problem all the time.
Well, weren't they going to amputate it?
Yeah, but talked him out of it.
Well, why were they going to amputate?
Huh?
What damage did it do to your leg that would make him want to amputate?
He thought that gangrene was going to set in. Told him, you're going to cut my leg off. I cut it off right here.
At the throat, huh?
And
when was this? When did this happen?
1921.
What'd that kid say when he shot you? What was his reaction?
Oh, he says, my hell, he says, I've shot you. And he says, I'd better shoot myself too. And I says, give me that gun. I was laying down, you know, and I took all the cartridges out of it and just give them a broadcast. And throwed it over in the weeds or in the brush. As you get out of here, I says, and find some help, I says, get me out of here. And we opened up the pants leg here, both here and down here, so we could get a bandage around it, see? And I had one of those big bandana handkerchiefs, those big red ones. Made a knot in one end, stuff it in there like that, made another knot over here and put it down in there like that, and then put it around and took my 6-shooter belt, went around the leg just twice and cinched her up. That kept me from bleeding to death.
Do you walk out?
Oh, hell no. He got 3 different guys to come and help get me out. Lay on an old overcoat they had. One of them had a great big old overcoat on. So he put this on me, and drug me backwards down to the bottom, and when we got down to the bottom, I get up on the side of the straddle of a horse. I had a horse down there, and I rode the horse down to the forks down there. Johnny Farley, mother's cousin, he was on that Jolly Ranch at that time, and he came up and got me and took me up down to the doctor, and we got down to the doctor, and Dr. George was out deer hunting. But Dr. John was there, and he all he done was just took some gauze and rolled it up and poked it down in this hole with some medication on it, you know. Same way the other way. Just tied it up. Told me to go home. You want to know where I was going to be bedfast, and I told him at granddad's. So come up there, and Dr. George, when he was our doctor, and found out that I had the accident, he was right up there to see me. And he looked and he says, "Did he give you a shot for lockjaw?" And I says, "He never gave me any shot at all. Just what I thought," he said. He was kind of a rough old guy anyway, but he was sure a good doctor. And so he, Mother and Dad had just bought a brand new galvanized wash tub. And they had that old wood burner stove that had the reservoir on the side, you know.
Yeah.
And so he had up a lot of water. They had these, I don't know what kind of pills they were now, but they was green. When they dissolved, they made the water green. And so he took a piece of gauze, or a piece of silk, fed it through that leg.
Clear through?
Yeah.
Aha.
Never give me a damn thing either.
Oh no.
And I quit him a couple of times.
You pass out?
Yeah. And he had Mother take one of these china cups, you know.
Yeah.
And dip that water up, and he'd come down through like that with the water. And let the water run through it. Oh, I must have done that for 5 minutes or better. Huh?
We did a lot of fishing when I was little.
I sure ain't doing none now. I haven't even been out once this year.
I understand there used to be a railroad track here in town.
Yeah.
Where was it at?
Well, come right up, right out here to right across the street, right on the edge of the park, right up to the church, right on down, clear down to the railroad track down on the Springvale, and just the other side of Mapleton down there, tied on the main track.
Yeah?
Yeah, it come clear through, clear up.
Oh, did you have this garage built before the store? Or which was built first?
This here has been here. This has been here for a long time, before I bought it.
Now, what was it when you bought it?
It was when I bought it, it was an old store that John Hawley went broke in. theatrical building. Theater.
Theater?
I seen my first Santa Claus right here in this place.
Oh, you did? How old were you then?
Oh, I imagine it was about 8 or 9 years old.
Oh, so you ran this as a store then?
Yeah, I had that as a store when it went burnt down. I bought it after John Hawley went broke. I bought it off of the guy that had the mortgage on it. And
When was that?
1938.
Wow. Had this store a long time.
Well, it was a store a long time before I got it.
Now, how long had you had it before it burned?
I only had it for about well, I bought it in 36. I burned it down on spring of 38. It just gutted the whole damn thing.
What caused the fire?
The faulty furnace. So when I got up here that morning, our wrapping counter's right in the middle. And so I just walked in and picked up the wastebasket. Had it all loaded with paper, you know. So I just went down into the basement and down to the furnace. It was kind of cool, and so I thought, well, I'll just kick the fire up a little bit, or build a fire. And when I got down there, the thing was smoldering. They put a lump of coal in there, and it was just smoldering. So I just give it a punch with a poker, you know, and then took all these papers and stuff, throwed it in the furnace, just locked the door, and thought, well, I'll go out and feed those pigs. And I just got out just about.
Exploded?
Yeah. I guess it must have been just loaded with
creosote?
With gas, coal gas, you know, from that lump of coal.
What'd you do? Run?
No, the thing I did, I come around to here and got in my pickup. Closest phone was down home, so I went down and called the fire department, and they was right up here in nothing flat. Took everything. We had these oval sardines, you know, those cans of sardines, oval cans. They looked just like footballs. The heat, you know, it made them expand just like a football before they blew out, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I can't understand. You take, I had rifle shells, and shotgun shells.
The lead melted out of the shells?
The lead melted right out of the shells and never even exploded.
I imagine that was a little rough financially, wasn't it?
Huh?
Wasn't it a little rough financially when that happened?
How do you mean?
Well, losing your store.
I about went crazy. I'm going to tell you, that's one way to going broke. It's really a bad one.
So what did you do?
First, I tried to make the place here pay. Fixed it up and made a shop out of it, you know.
Yeah.
I couldn't make it pay. Things was rugged, you know, and things was, wages was no good. So I said to Grandma, I said, Rhea and Blaine was down to San Diego. Went down and were working there at the aircraft, and he wanted me to come down and get a job down there with him, so that I could take the job.
Yeah.
Had to have a birth certificate and prove my place where I was born. And I had to do that by telegraph. And,
Telegraph to Kentucky?
huh?
I mean, you had to telegraph to Kentucky?
Yeah. Yeah, I just happened to be lucky enough to get all my credentials telegraphed back to me. So then I got the job down there, and it was all right for a while.
Doing what?
Well, I finally wound up as a welder. First part of it, I was just handy enough. They made me inspector in TBYs, about 2 weeks. You talk about driving me crazy. Well, I says to my lead man.
Oh.
And I kept after him. I said, you got me in the wrong place. I said, I ain't no good here. I had to wear shoes like you got on.
Tennis shoes, huh?
Yeah. And you couldn't wear these hard-soled shoes in the plane.
Huh?
And
Why?
then the cribbing and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Aluminum. So then I had to check them mechanics get some steel bolts in the places instead of aluminum bolts. If I found some of them where they put steel bolts in where the aluminum should be, I had to mark it and have them take it all out and correct it. There's a lot of that. I just had a magnet. Just had a magnet to go along them bolts, you know. And there was one bolt in that bunch was a steel, that old magnet to hang right onto it. See? And then I'd have to crisscross it out, make them change it.
Did he change you?
Huh?
Did he change your job, or?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they finally give me a job as a welder there in the maintenance.
Yeah.
I worked there for about 3 or 4 months.
Was that where you learned your skills as welding?
Oh, I'd had a little experience before. I learned more there and out in Geneva than I ever knew. I took advantage of all I could, you know, when I was out in Geneva.
Uh-huh.
And I'd watch all these guys that I figured was professionals, you know. I'd pick up a lot of odds and ends from them.
Yeah.
And mostly from my own knowledge. I was self-made welder.
Well, you're a good one.
I used to be. I ain't no good now.
Oh, what did you do after 3 months working in California? Did you come back here?
Oh, I came up to. I got a chance to take a job at Las Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And for $1.50 an hour. So I had to go down to Long Beach and take a welding test. And fortunately, I passed the test. So then I went to Las Vegas. When I got to Las Vegas, that's after I got Grandma and the kids back home here, see.
Well, they're with you in San Diego.
They come down there, and we was down there and lived in one of those semi-appointment houses.
Yeah.
Grandma, she just didn't know, wasn't satisfied up down there at all. So I told her, I says, well, I'll take you home, and then I'll see if I can find another job around here. I heard the job they was hiring out Garfield. So I went out there, and they had just hired a welder the day before. And I knew the guy that was a business agent, or not the business agent, but anyway, it was Ross Urey. And he says, Vance, he says, we'll see how this turns out. And he says, if it doesn't turn out all right, well, he says, you'd better give me your telephone and address so I can get a hold of you. Well, I says, best way to get a hold of me is to call Dad. He has a telephone. Well, he says, where are you going to go? And I says, I'm going back to Las Vegas, because I've got a job waiting down there for me. And I says, the only reason I'm not down there now, taking it, didn't want to bunk in a bunkhouse down there. I says, I could have got a place down there, I says, to bunk in a bunch of that trash and stuff. So I says, I wouldn't take it. But I says, I'll go back down and get me a room down there, and I'll take that job. So we went down, and I went back down there, and when I got out of there the next morning, the business agent had gone somewhere, and he'd gone, never got back till the afternoon, and had to have clearance, to get out on the job.
Yeah.
So as soon as he come, he gave me a clearance and went out and cleared in. So they put me to work at night shift. Huh?
What were you building there?
Well,
Las
that was,
Vegas.
Magnesium plant.
Oh.
Down there in Las Vegas, between Las Vegas and Motor Dam. They're building a magnesium plant in there. And I got a job there. But when Ross Urey called me on the telephone, called Dad, and Dad sent me a night letter. The post office in Las Vegas, and I worked down there for 3 days and 3 nights. I was down there 3 days, 3 nights. And boy, when I got that night letter that I was wanted up to Utah Construction, it didn't take me long to pull my sheet and get up there.
Somebody wanted you home.
Yeah, I had a home right down there.
Where you're at now?
We bought that in 1925, see?
Yeah?
You believe it?
Yeah, I believe it. That's just a heck of a thing to go to, though.
You what?
That's a heck of a deal, though.
Hell, I can tell you things that you wouldn't even believe.
Well, try me.
Huh?
Try me.
Did I told you about living in tents, though, didn't I? Huh?
You may have mentioned it.
Well, we'll start right at the first, then. How'll that be?
All right.
You know where Lindsay's home is down there? Jim Lindsay's?
Yeah.
Well, right across the corner there, in that piece of ground, the Walden Whitings, there used to be an old rock house in there. A lady from the name of Slaymaker was a widow woman, and Grandpa Stone got a job with her on her farm. And so when we got to Springville, why, he talked her and Dad, or he and Dad, talked her into the notion of letting them fix up this old rock house. What I mean, it was a rock house. And so I can remember they had an old buckboard buggy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And down here somewhere, I don't know where it is at. I used to go down there on the hill somewhere and get that clay, make mortar out of, and they bring that up and mix it up just like you would putty or those mortar, you know, put in brick.
Yeah.
Take big chunks of rock, put in these bad places, you know, put it in there and chink all around it with this mud.
Yeah.
Oh, they must have worked there for a couple of weeks, fixing that old house up. No floors in it, mud, dirt floors, and we moved in there. That's after Grandma Stone died.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember her when she was in the casket, just after we got here in Utah.
You was about 4 then, weren't you?
About 3.
3 or 4?
I just barely remember her. I couldn't figure out what she was laying in that box for. She was just laying there just so still, you know, that she was dead. And I couldn't figure that out, you know, what happened. That was what happened. She had died, and I can remember seeing her in this box. Then, as time went on, this whole place they fixed up, an old piece of tin was really valuable. You know, like this old sign on the side of the garage out here.
Yeah.
Something like that. Used that for shingles on that old roof.
Yeah.
Part of it was boarded and then mudded on part of the roof. Had a mud roof on it.
Didn't wash away, huh?
So then, as we went on, time went on, Dad, he used to get a cow from Elmer Bird's dad for the milk. He'd raise a calf, you know, and he'd let Dad have this cow to have milk.
Yeah.
Just take care of her, see, and the calf.